Lera was sitting in the kitchen, sipping a cup of fragrant tea and enjoying the silence. Every sip brought her joy and peace. She finally found time for herself after a busy week at work. Life after the wedding with Andre seemed perfect. A cozy home, a caring husband, and many plans for the future. However, sometimes thoughts slipped through her mind that everything could change. She understood that family relations with her husband's parents could be difficult, and tried to avoid unnecessary conflicts. On this day, Lera decided to put the house in order. She was cleaning the kitchen when the doorbell rang sharply. For a moment, her heart fluttered in surprise. Who could it be? Probably some kind of courier service or a neighbor. She went to the door and opened it, but what she saw was not what she expected. Andre's parents were standing on the threshold, his mother-in-law, Natalia, and his father-in-law, Victor. Lera froze for a moment, not knowing how to react. There was no joy or friendliness in their eyes, only coldness and determination. "We're here for the money that was given to you for the wedding," Natalia said, not paying attention to her daughter-in-law, and as if not noticing her, went into the room. Lera felt a cold sweat run down her back. She couldn't believe what was happening. She had expected a friendly visit, but instead she was confronted with insolence. "Mom, wait," Andre shouted, coming out of the bedroom. He looked surprised and confused. "What's going on?" Natalia turned around and looked at her son with contempt. "We came for the money that was given to you and your wife for the wedding. Have you forgotten that it was a condition?" Lera felt herself getting uncomfortable. She knew that her mother-in-law had always been quite persistent in her demands, but she did not think that they would come to this. "But Mom, we can't just give the money away." "It was a gift," Andre exclaimed, his voice sounding confused. Lera, having gathered her thoughts, decided to intervene. She couldn't let her mother-in-law treat them as if they were her property. "Natalia," she said confidently, "the money was really a gift, and I don't understand why you think we should return it to you." The mother-in-law stared at Lera with displeasure. "Don't you understand that this is family money? We invested in your wedding, and now you have to give us back what we gave you." Lera felt anger boiling up inside her. She couldn't accept how her mother-in-law treated her and her husband. "I understand that you have invested in our wedding, but this does not give you the right to come and demand money. We are adults, and we have the right to dispose of what we have been given," she said decisively. Natalia did not expect such an answer. Her eyes widened in surprise, and she froze for a moment. "You have no right to talk to me like that." "Stop it," she screamed. "I'm your mother-in-law. And that's why I expect respect from you," Lera replied, her voice calm but firm. "We're not kids, and I'm not going to let you treat us like that." At that moment, Andre came closer to Lera and took her hand. He looked at his mother with displeasure. "Mom, I think you're overreacting. We can't just refund the money, it's wrong. It's a gift, and you have to understand that." Natalia looked at her son, and Lera noticed how her face had changed. She clearly hadn't expected this turn of events. "What if we just decided that we don't need this money?" Andre continued. "We want to build our own lives without your help." Lera felt the tension in the air. Each of them understood that this situation could escalate into a violent conflict. "I just wanted you to remember that a family should always support each other," Natalia said, her tone becoming less aggressive. "But maybe I was too persistent." Lera felt her anger begin to subside. She understood that her mother-in-law might just want to preserve her traditions, but this did not justify her behavior. "Natalia," Lera said more gently, "I respect your family and your traditions, but we also want to build our own lives and make our own decisions." At that moment, Victor, the father-in-law, who had been silent all this time, came closer and put his hand on Natalia's shoulder. "Maybe we should talk about this calmly," he said. His voice was deep and soothing. "I think we all want the same thing, for our children to be happy." Natalia looked at her husband, and Lera noticed how the tension in her face began to subside. "Maybe I was too harsh," she said, her voice quieter. "I just want you to Andre
know
looked
that I'm
at
here to
Lera with
support you."
pride. He knew that she was able to defend her boundaries and at the same time maintain respect. "We all want our relationship to be strong," Lera said, her voice softer. "Let's start with a clean slate and respect each other." Natalia nodded, and Lera saw her face soften. "I'm sorry if I was too insistent," she said. "I just want you to know that I'm here to support you." Andre looked at his parents and said, "I love you and I want us to be one family. But I cannot allow our relationship to be based on financial demands." Lera felt her heart fill with warmth. She knew that this situation could be the beginning of something new. When Andre's parents left their house, Lera and Andre were left alone. They sat down on the sofa, and Andre took her hand. "You were incredible," he said, his eyes shining with pride. "I've never seen you defend your rights so confidently." Lera smiled, feeling pride fill her. "I realized that it's important to talk about your feelings and not be afraid to defend your boundaries," she said. "We cannot allow anyone, even parents, to violate our personal boundaries." Andre nodded, and they spent the rest of the evening discussing their plans for the future and how they want to build their family. Lera knew that they had a lot of work ahead of them, but it was an important step in their relationship. A few days passed, and Lera began to notice how her relationship with her mother-in-law was changing. Natalia has become more reserved and respectful. Perhaps their conversation really was a turning point, and they both began to realize that there was room for compromise in their lives. One day, when Lera was cooking dinner, Natalia called to invite them to a family dinner. Lera was a little wary, but decided that this could be another opportunity to improve relations. "Andre and I will think about it and tell you," Lera replied, trying to keep her tone polite. When he and Andre discussed the invitation, he was positive. "Let's try it," he said. "It can help to establish a relationship." In the evening, when they came to Andre's parents, Lera felt a slight excitement. She didn't know what to expect, but she hoped the atmosphere would be friendly. When they entered the house, Natalia greeted them with a smile and warmth. The dinner was great. They discussed various topics, and Lera noticed that her mother-in-law was trying to keep up the conversation, avoiding conflicting topics. "I'm glad you came," Natalia said when they finished their dessert. "I hope we can spend more time together." Lera felt a new connection being established between them. "I hope so too," she replied, her voice sincere. After dinner, Andre suggested playing a board game, and everyone agreed. It was fun and relaxing. Lera laughed with Andre and his parents, and to her surprise, she felt like a part of the family. When the evening came to an end, Lera realized that this experience was important for them all. She knew that they would have difficult moments ahead, but now they were ready to deal with them together, supporting each other. When they returned home, Lera and Andre sat on the sofa, and he hugged her. "You made it possible," he said with a smile. "I'm proud of you." Lera felt her heart fill with joy. She knew that their relationship had become stronger, and that they could overcome any obstacles if they worked on themselves and respected each other. In the following weeks, they continued to meet with Andre's parents, and each time the atmosphere became more friendly. Lera understood that her efforts, as well as Andre's, were not in vain. A few months passed, and one day, when he and Andre were sitting in the kitchen, he noticed, "I think we have achieved what we dreamed of. We became a real family." Lera smiled, feeling her heart fill with pride. She knew that their relationship with Andre's parents had become stronger, and they had all become closer to each other. "I'm glad we were able to do this," she said. "I believe that respect and openness are the key to happiness." Andre nodded, and they hugged, realizing that they had many moments together ahead of them, and now they were ready to go through everything together.